Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth Nyagaka for those who are new here, and for my returning subscribers, welcome back. So for any subscribers, you're welcome to join the family by subscribing. You love it here. Anyways, so I'm 6 weeks postpartum. I'm a CS mom, a mom of one to a very beautiful baby girl, and I have decided to share my pregnancy journey all the way from my first trimester to my fourth trimester, which we are currently in, and we are thriving and doing good, as you can tell. So I've decided to share how my journey was. I did not document that because you'll see as I go throughout the video. I just jump right into it without wasting a lot of time, because I know the moment I start talking, I would stop. Anyway, so my first trimester. I had a horrible first trimester, I must say. My first trimester was horrible. Anyway, I've seen videos on TikTok, TikTok moms asking people, okay, can you just say which trimester was the worst for you? Like, which trimester was bad for you? So most of the answers were first trimester, and honestly, I concur with them because my first trimester was horrible. Anyway, before getting to the horrible part, okay, so we went on a vacation in October, and so anyway, when I found out I was pregnant, of course, I told my partner, and before we get into the reaction, I went ahead and told my sisters, and then I told my close friends, and then I told my mom, because my sister was pregnant at the time as well. So I think it was just a few weeks after she had told my mom. So I was like, let me just give my mom time to absorb that my sister is pregnant, just give my sister her time to be happy with my mom, you know. Yeah, and then I told her later. Anyway, that's not the point. So so when I told JJ that I was pregnant, she was so happy. I don't know. Anyway, so everyone I was telling, actually everyone that I told that I'm pregnant, everyone was so happy. Everyone was so happy. Like, that's I never had mixed emotions with my pregnancy, honestly. So when I found out I was pregnant, I went and told my partner, and then it was like, oh my god, you know the face, oh my god, not like, oh my god. It was like, oh my god. I looked at him and I'm like, wait, hold on, why are you happy? It's not like we wanted a child yet, but why are you happy? Why are you not asking me how I'm feeling about it? Like, anyway, he didn't ask me how I felt about having how I felt about being pregnant. He didn't ask me. He didn't. He just wanted to say, "Oh my god, I'm so happy." Blah blah blah. I was like, anyway. So with his reaction, my heart, my mind, and my body was so relaxed. I was so at peace, because I mean, the reaction that you get from your partner when you tell them that you're pregnant speaks a lot about the type of relationship that you're in. Anyway, at that time, I wasn't engaged. Actually, the fun part. This is the fun part. So, his reaction to the pregnancy news actually warmed my heart. It was the best reaction ever. I was like, oh, okay. I think that is the reason as to why I did not take my pregnancy with such a big deal. It was just like, oh, we're pregnant. Anyway, so I went and told JJ I'm pregnant. JJ was so freaking happy. JJ was so happy. JJ was so happy, and she's like, oh my god, oh my sister, double blessings, oh, double blessings. I'm like, what do you mean double blessings? So at that time, she knew my sister was pregnant, so I was like, oh yeah. I mean, like, my twin sister and I were both pregnant at the same time. And she's like, oh yeah. Little did I know that 2 days later, I'm getting proposed to. So I told JJ on a Thursday that, on a Wednesday, I told her, I'm pregnant. And as my sister, I didn't expect her to have that reaction. Like, she's so happy because it's not like I'm married. She was extremely overjoyed. And then I was like, oh man, okay, this went better than expected. But anyway, little did I know that in 3 days I'm getting engaged. So later, when I was looking back at those moments, I was like, oh, this is the reason as to why she said double blessings, because she knew she was planning my engagement all along. Anyway, she was planning my engagement. She didn't know she didn't know I'm pregnant. Anyway, she was so happy. And I think everyone's reaction about my pregnancy really warmed my heart. Anyway, so let's get into the first trimester. And as much as everyone was happy about it, my first trimester was the worst trimester ever. Oh gosh, I hate the worst trimester. Okay, the fun part, I don't know, everyone has their own definition of the worst trimester, but for me, I did not have any vomiting. Honestly, I did not vomit at all. I didn't. The worst part was having the nausea. Like, you have the feeling of vomiting, but you're not vomiting. You feel me? And then let's talk about morning sickness. Whoever said it's called morning sickness was a liar, because that thing is not morning sickness. It was all day sickness. It was all day sickness. I used to wake up when my partner comes back at home. That is 5 p.m. I used to sleep the whole day. If I'm awake during the day, I'm awake to eat. I'm awake to eat, and then I go back to sleep. And then when I wake up at around 5 p.m., I'm doing absolutely nothing. I just I go to the kitchen, get some food, and then I sit there, start watching. Do you know, I used to watch from 5 p.m. up to around 3 a.m. in the morning, because since I've slept throughout the day, I can't sleep at night. So the sickness was so bad. You wake up in the morning, you don't feel like brushing your teeth, you don't feel like eating that morning, but you're so hungry, and then everything smells so bad. I used to hate when my partner is cooking. Everything smells so bad. So every time when he's cooking, I just leave the room and just go stay in the bedroom until he's done, because the smell of onions was awful. Anyway, so I stopped cooking because I couldn't cook. Thank God I have the best partner ever. He cooked every meal for me. So the moment we found out I'm pregnant, that was when everything changed for us. I stopped cooking. I wasn't cooking at all. But then during my first trimester, throughout that time, I never had any takeout or whatever. I used to eat home cooked meals prepared by my partner. He used to wake up in the morning, go to work, come back, make sure his cooked meals that are gonna last me throughout the next day, because he knew I was so hungry. There's just that hunger that comes with the first trimester. So I was so hungry. And then anyway, with the hunger that comes, I used to have enough food, because my partner used to make sure that I had enough food that is gonna last me throughout the night, throughout the day, until he comes back. So I was sorted with that. And then if there's something I ate a lot, was eggs. I ate a lot of eggs. I used to eat up to 8 eggs a day. And then I told my mom I'm eating eggs, she's like, you're going to have a big baby. And anyway, I had a big baby, but not that big, but big. I used to eat eggs and tea and so with a lot of eating and not exercising and not doing anything, I wasn't working. Also, I stopped working. I cancelled all my appointments, so I stopped working completely, because I was completely sick, and I'm getting to that part. So with eating a lot and not exercising, I gained a lot of weight. So okay, so throughout my pregnancy, actually, I was around 70 something kgs, around 80 kgs. I think the last time I measured my kgs, I was around 80. So throughout my pregnancy, I've added 35 kgs. So by the time I was having my baby, I was at 115 kgs. So I added a whole lot of 35 kgs. That is a lot of weight to add. I was gaining weight really fast. I gained weight really fast. Yeah, because of the eating and stuff. Anyway, so I gained a lot of weight, and that is why my pregnancy was so visible. Even though I did not tell anyone, or I did not announce to the world, it was so visible that I'm pregnant, and most people actually detected it. I didn't want to tell the world yet because pregnancy is so sacred. Pregnancy is such a big thing for me. It is something that I made, something that my partner and I made, something that God just gave us, like, here it is, just take it. Here, chukua, here it is. I mean, it was so sacred to us. It is something that we knew no one could take away from us. So it was something I really wanted to enjoy. And as much as I didn't enjoy it, I didn't enjoy that pregnancy part of being sick, blah blah blah. I enjoyed the part where I knew I'm carrying a child, and at the end of 9 months, I'm going to have this girl. Oh my god, it was the best. It was the best. So I wanted to keep that for me until I decided to announce to the world, because I wasn't ready to share that part of my happiness with people yet. Anyway, I announced later at around in my second trimester, towards my third, when I was going to have my baby shower. So yeah. Anyway, back to the first trimester trenches. Number two, I was very sick. I was so sick. So I've had iron issues in the past, and when I got pregnant, I was very sick. So my iron levels were rock bottom. So I didn't have enough hemoglobin. I wasn't supply. There was no enough supply of oxygen. So then, oh my god. So I used to have this terrible. I had the worst headaches. They were not headaches. They were actually migraines. I I used to have headaches throughout the day. The whole day, my head was spinning. So I think that's the reason why I was also sleeping a lot. So I used to have very bad headaches. I remember there was a time when I went, oh, it was on Christmas. We were having Christmas dinner at JJ's, and then my friends, like Jared, Kathy, my other were like, you guys, wait, thanks. You are so, when I was sick, go to the hospital. I'm going to follow up. When that I was saying, you go get checked. Maybe we're gonna share much and affect Kichwa. That's why you're having headaches. Oh my god, little they know that. I'm pregnant. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, Nitanda, I'll go. I'll just sit there. And then later on, I'm like, you guys, I was pregnant. That's the reason as to why my headaches were that bad. They're like, wait, what? Anyway, yeah, I was so sick. I was very sick. Yeah, so if someone asks me what was your worst trimester, I would say my first trimester. I was in the trenches. I couldn't get out of bed. I had a specific spot in my living room. I used to stay in that spot to watch TV and just stay there. I was so angry. I used to be very moody, but you know what, thanks to my God-sent partner, I went through first trimester in such a graceful way, and I don't know how I will ever thank him. Anyway, he took good care of me. He really took good care of me. You know, life in Australia. So we used to live, of course, in separate houses, but then he paid his rent. He paid my rent. He paid my bills. Because I was not working. I wasn't going to work. I was just staying at home. So yeah, something had to be done. He really took care of me with so much grace, so much thought, so much understanding. Whew, God, may God bless him for me. God bless him for me. And yeah, I was blessed. I was blessed with a very good partner. Yeah, so I wouldn't have made it through my first trimester if it were not for him, because he made my life so easy. He understood what I was going through. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that is for my first trimester. My second trimester. So things started cooling down a little bit. Yeah. So during that time, before actually towards the end of my first trimester, I started noticing some changes with my hands. So of course my hands were swollen, but then every time I go for walks, or maybe I'm just chilling, my hands were so itchy, very itchy. They would get really swollen, get really red, and then they were so swollen. So I had to run my arms under tap water, very cold tap water, because they were so itchy, and I can't explain it. So when I ran them under cold water on the tap, they at least, I don't know how to explain it, at least the swelling goes down, and then the redness disappears as well, and then the itchiness just disappears. I don't know what that was, but it was so bad again. So in my second trimester, I started having carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel, I think carpal tunnel was the worst of it all, because I'm a hairdresser, so I'm a hairstylist. I need my hands to work. But the funny thing about carpal tunnel, it did not affect my ability to work as a hairdresser. But except when I need to do some certain styles, I need to put my arms in a certain way. That is when I decided to stop doing some styles until maybe after pregnancy. So with carpal tunnel, it's so weird. It's so weird. Okay, so this part, and then these, okay, my wrists were itching, and then these, my my thumb towards my wrist as well, and then, okay, carpal tunnel is really bad, especially at night and the morning when you're waking up, because you're sleeping at night, so there's no circulation of blood. When you wake up, your hands are numb, and they're so, and when you start gaining the feeling of your, okay, whatever, it's so painful. I used to cry in the morning waking up because my arms were so painful. Oh my god, they were so painful. Anyway, a carpal tunnel was bad, but I was able to go back to work and continue doing hair. Yeah, funny enough. Yeah, I did hair my second and my third trimester, but anyway, carpal tunnel was the worst, was bad. And then I was also diagnosed with diabetes in my second trimester. So I just went to my appointment. I didn't do the actually. I did not do the diabetes test. I went in for my appointment, and then the doctor's like, not the midwife. I waited for the doctor's. Oh, yeah, it was the midwife. I went in for the midwife's appointment, and then she's like, hold on, when you were here last, did someone talk to you about your sugar levels? I was like, no. I was at my, I think 30th or 32nd week. 32nd week. I was like, no one. Then they're like, oh, your blood sugars are alarming. I need to refer you to the diabetes clinic. It was only 5.3. It wasn't that much. So, and I can't even remember when I did that test. I didn't do the original glucose test, but anyway, later on when I was testing my sugars, I was like, oh yeah, I see why. So I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, which of course it went away immediately when I gave birth. I was so frustrated when I was diagnosed with GD, honestly, because I was doing so well. Everything was going on well. And ever since I was diagnosed with GD, every time I went into the hospital, I used to get bad news every time I went in. So I got so frustrated towards my third trimester. Anyway, so I was diagnosed with GD, and then I started going for I went for for diabetes educational classes, and then after that I started monitoring my sugars through dieting and exercising. For people who know me, I hate exercising. There was a time I was going to work and I literally cried in my car because I was thinking, okay, I'm adding weight. What am I going to do with this? Because I hate exercise. I literally cried. But anyway, I'm focusing on how I'm going to start exercising and going to the gym, because we need to bring that body back, you know. I want to be that hot. I want to be that hot mama. Anyway, so we started managing with dieting and exercising, but then that did not do any good. And it was also so frustrating because you're told to eat this amount of food and you're so hungry. You know, there's that hunger that comes with pregnancy. I was so hungry. I was so frustrated. I'm hungry. I can't eat food. I can't eat this. It was horrible. But anyway, I still ate. I tried to manage my sugars because I didn't want my baby to get diabetes. But then, towards my 30, I think at 34 or 36 weeks, I started on insulin. And before that, during the day when I was diagnosed with GD, I used to check my sugars 5 times a day. You can imagine pricking your fingers 5 times a day. It was so painful, and that needle is so painful. Anyway, and then so I used to check my sugars, and then I also used to go to my appointments every other week. So was it every 2 weeks, and then I started going every week because when you're diagnosed with GD, they put you under high risk category. So anyway, I started. The doctor started me on insulin, a few units of insulin actually. It was only 10 units. And then later on, I think 2 weeks later, the insulin was not working, so they added another different type of insulin. So I used to take 2 types of insulin, one before dinner and then another one before dinner. That's 10 units and another 6 units. So you can imagine you're doing five blood tests during the day, and then that is needle. You're using needles, and then 2 types of insulin, one before dinner and one after dinner, on your stomach. You can imagine how painful that was. So my second trimester and my third trimester were bad. Yeah. So that is with GD. With GD, you just have no option. You have to take care of yourself. You have to do what the doctor says. So I had to do what the doctor said, and yeah, I can say after that, my baby was okay. So she didn't get any diabetes. We're doing good. Yeah. So with GD, oh, I hate GD. That's it for my second trimester. That was when I got diagnosed with GD. And then also in my second trimester, that was when I went back to work. In my first trimester, I didn't work at all. In my second trimester, that's when I went back to work because I felt so energized. And then I wasn't that sickly. I think the sickness just comes the first trimester and then just goes away. And then the second trimester, I was so energetic. I wanted to go back to work. I love doing hair. I love making girls look pretty. So I went back to work. It was so good. And then yeah, I was still struggling with carpal tunnel, but it wasn't actually affecting my work. I was really doing my work really well. The only problem was at night and when I'm doing tasks. Funny enough, I could do people's hair, but I couldn't hold my phone. It was so hard. So with carpal tunnel, it was so tricky. It's just the positioning of your arm. But then I got some wrist support, which was helping me at night, and then it got better. Yeah. Oh, also during my second trimester, that was when my body started itching. I think because the body is stretching. So, so I think because I know my daughter is so happy. Oh my god! Every time I'm talking on camera, she's so happy. She's such a happy child, happy and very calm anyway. So I think because my body really stretched, every time I'm taking a shower, oof, my body used to be itchy after taking a shower. Oh, my father used to do a lot of work there, scratching my back. I was like, please help me scratch my back. My back was really itchy anyway. So my whole body was so itchy every time I take a shower. Anyway, that hasn't gone away yet. I think it's because my body is still stretched. So, so so I think when my body starts going back, that's when maybe it'll stop itching. But up to now, my body is still itchy. Anyway, so that's it for my second trimester. I think towards my second trimester, towards the end, that's when I started planning my baby showers. I started planning my baby shower from before. So yeah, into my that trimester, I did my baby shower. Yeah, I did my baby shower, and then that was when we started having signs of preeclampsia. So so I just went in for an appointment to my GP to ask about the vaccination for my whooping cough and RSV vaccination that I decided to get from my GP instead of getting from the hospital because it was expensive than getting from the GP. So I went to the GP and then she tested my blood pressure. It was high, so she had to refer me to the birth unit at the hospital that I was gonna give birth at. So I went there, they did my blood works, and then when I went in for I was monitored. I was monitored throughout the day, and then I went home because everything looked good. But then my blood pressure was on the higher side, so I went home, and then my blood works were done before I went home. So 2 days later, I went back to the hospital, and then the doctor said with my blood works, my iron was low. I think that's why my headaches had come back. So I was having really bad headaches in my third trimester. So my doctor said I'm having headaches because my iron is low, but then my blood count is good, so they will proceed to induce my labor, because there's nothing they can do with my iron at that time. So my blood pressure, okay, my blood works showed risks of preeclampsia because my blood pressure was high, and every time I used to go to the hospital, my baby's blood pressure was also high, and my blood pressure was high, was towards the higher side, not that high. So that was when the doctor recommended induction of labor. So I think that was when I got so tired, because every time ever since I got diagnosed with GD, every time I go in for my appointments, I never got any good news. So I went in, GD. I go in, your blood, your sugars are not going down. Going in, insulin. Going in again, more insulin. Going in, your blood pressure. Going in, you need to be induced. So it got to a point where I was so frustrated. Every time I'm going in, bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news. There was no point. It got to a point where I'm not going to an appointment and coming back with good news. Every time I went in, I used to come back home with bad news. But anyway, we kept on pushing. So every time I come home, I tell my sister, my mom. So everyone was so tired at that point, because I was so tired. My back was hurting. My back was really hurting because I was so tired. I just wanted to get it done. And so when they told me that I'm getting this, I was like, oh no. I know how painful that thing is. I haven't experienced it, but I know. I've seen testimonials of people saying how bad inductions are. But then I was like, okay, if that's what they say. So they decided to induce my labor. They decided to induce my labor because my blood pressure was rising, and I had GD, and my baby was also big, but not that big. Anyway, so I was supposed to be induced at 7 weeks, but then before 38 weeks, but then the hospital was full, so I got induced at 39 weeks. I was like, anyway, you guys, you should have just left me. I could have gotten to 40 weeks and could have just been fine. Anyway, yeah, that was it. Yeah. And then, so I went in to take my vaccines 1 week before my induction, because I kept on postponing. That weekend was really bad. The side effects of vaccines, you remember when you got the COVID vaccines? Yeah, those are my side effects. I was totally sick. I was totally sick, and I did not know it was the effect of vaccines. That was when later I was like, oh wait, I got a vaccine, so this is why. Yeah, so the vaccines really made me sick, but we were so prepared to go to the hospital, prepared to get induced. We went in, I was induced, but it did not progress. It was a failed induction. I ended up doing an emergency C-section because my baby was already distressed. But anyway, all in all, our baby is healthy. She came out healthy. She is fine. She's doing really good. Actually, the reason I keep on looking on this side is because she's on my bed. She's not on her bed because she's on my bed right now. She's just chilling and she's happy. She's just smiling. She's the best babies. Oh, yeah. I had a very long pregnancy, honestly. A very long pregnancy. But what I can say is having a partner who understands what your body is going through, what you're going through during pregnancy is the best thing ever. Because if someone doesn't understand what you're going through, I think one thing during pregnancy, your relationship or your marriage is really tested. And I see why people usually say you see most marriages break during pregnancy. It's true, because during this time we were at our low. We had so many challenges. I had so many challenges. My body went through so much pressure from the first trimester up to when I gave birth to my child. My body had undergone so much trauma, and I don't know how long it's going to take for me to go back to how I was. Of which I don't know if I'll ever go back, but I don't know how long it's going to take me. But my body underwent so much trauma, my whole body. But the one person that helped me through this is my partner. If he wasn't understanding, I wouldn't be here honestly, because I had a rough pregnancy. My pregnancy was so rough, but he held me through. He he was there for me, my first, my second, my third, my fourth, and he's still there right now supporting me, because postpartum is not easy. Fourth trimester, that is, postpartum is not easy. Now this is a time where your partner needs to understand it, because most people they'll be like, okay, now you've given birth, you don't have any weight, you don't have any pregnancy, now you're healed, maybe 2-3 weeks you're healed, you can start doing things. But if you push too hard, your recovery is gonna be too long. You need to have someone who understands that you need time to recover, that you need to rest. And up to today, I can say thank you to my partner for helping me, for holding my hand through my pregnancy journey, and being here today, because I wouldn't have made it through that pregnancy without him. Of course, maybe I would have made it, but with him, it made things so much easier. Yeah, so yeah, that was my pregnancy journey. And oh yeah, so yeah, that was my pregnancy journey. If there's anything I've forgotten with my mom brain at the moment, of course I can't remember, but yeah, that was my pregnancy journey. It was horrible, but I enjoyed creating a human being. I enjoyed carrying this little girl. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so that's it. Since our little girl is here, we'll start doing videos with her, yeah. So that's it for my pregnancy journey. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any question, if you need any clarification, please feel free to ask in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. I'm more than happy to give you encouragement. I'm more than happy to reply to all of your questions. So yeah, that was my pregnancy journey. It's not to scare you, it's to encourage you, because I got to the other side and I'm better. I'm better. I have a tiny mini me that I'm taking care of, and yeah, I can't wait to see how this journey goes. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Bye. Thank you for watching.